In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental.
It seems. And 8052, shooting just occurred. Approximately 10 shots heard and an unknown person shouting code 3 incident 1920 RD 809 semi for additional.
People are alleging is Rihanna is a key material witness into this whole trafficking scheme or plot or whatever that Roc Nation and Jay-Z himself have been carrying out.
Guys, things are getting very scary because people have now put together that both Rihanna and Nicki Minaj's homes in California have both been targeted recently.
Ivana Ortiz showed up at Rihanna's Beverly Hills home on March 8, 2026, carrying an AR-15 style rifle and opened fire at the mansion, sending roughly 7 to 10 shots toward the property, while Rihanna and her 3 children were inside. Fortunately, no one was injured. In the immediate aftermath, the explanation given to the public seemed straightforward. Ivana was described as an obsessed fan trapped in a parasocial fixation. Case closed. News reports even circulated clips taken from her social media accounts. And watching them, she did appear seriously unstable. In several videos, Ivana accused Rihanna of being both a witch and the devil, angrily claiming that the singer was jealous of her.
Listen, Rihanna, when you die, God is taking me to my future. You want to kill me. Shut the up, okay? Shut the up. Yeah, she's a witch. She's a witch. I'm a watchman. She's a witch. Get that stupid girl out of here. Okay? They can't do this. They can't do this. That's why you got Rihanna over there all jealous. Because how am I, because her faith is the devil. Rihanna's faith is the devil, okay? I don't like her, and she's always trying to steal from me. And she has not ever put out any music to reach people. She only did her little music thing so that she can do witchcraft. And so that she can steal from people. So everybody, please, don't listen to her, don't follow her, don't give that girl any air, space, or time. Because she's stealing from you.
Rihanna might have been the target that night, but is the situation really as simple as it first appeared? Or could the public be seeing only the version of the story that people want them to see? Because once you start looking closer, the unstable stalker explanation begins to show a few cracks. And recently, people online have started bringing back an old interview with Cat Williams where he warned about situations exactly like this. Williams has repeatedly claimed that when celebrities suddenly die or face strange incidents, it often isn't random. According to him, someone powerful usually ends up benefiting from the tragedy. So that raises a serious question. Who would actually gain something if Rihanna were gone? One theory gaining traction online involves Live Nation Entertainment. Here's where things start getting interesting. Ivana Ortiz, the woman who showed up outside Rihanna's house, currently has an active legal case against Live Nation. At first glance, that may seem unrelated, but the connections start to appear once you follow the business relationships surrounding Rihanna. Some online investigators have pointed out that Rihanna is signed to Roc Nation, and her history with her former mentor Jay-Z has always been somewhat complex. Back in 2008, Jay-Z partnered with Live Nation to launch Roc Nation as a joint venture. That means Live Nation essentially acts as the parent company, while Roc Nation operates beneath it as a subsidiary. Rihanna is still represented by Roc Nation for both management and recording services. On top of that, many of her major touring agreements have been negotiated by Roc Nation's CEO, Desiree Perez. And here's another key detail. Perez is expected to testify as a defense witness for Live Nation in an ongoing antitrust case. To understand why that matters, you have to look at a major lawsuit filed in 2024 by the United States Department of Justice. The government accused Live Nation of operating an illegal monopoly and attempted to force the company to separate from Ticketmaster. Regulators argue that the partnership between the two businesses allows Live Nation to dominate the concert industry, raising ticket prices and limiting competition. During trials like this, both sides submit lists of witnesses. Live Nation's legal team included Desiree Perez on their list. Her testimony is valuable because she has personally negotiated numerous touring partnerships between Roc Nation artists, Rihanna included, and Live Nation over the years. Oh, now think about the connections again. The woman who arrived at Rihanna's home with a rifle is currently in a legal dispute with Live Nation. Live Nation owns Rock Nation. Rock Nation manages Rihanna, and Rock Nation's CEO was preparing to defend Live Nation in federal court while also handling Rihanna's touring business. These relationships aren't speculation. They appear in official court records. So the question people online are asking is simple. Why would someone supposedly acting on pure obsession target Rihanna while already fighting a legal battle with the very corporation tied to her career? And there's another detail that raises eyebrows. Ivana Ortiz didn't arrive in some old car with a cheap weapon. Reports say she drove a white Tesla and carried an AR-15 style rifle, both expensive items. Which leads to another question people are asking. If she was simply an unstable person acting alone, where did the money come from? And more importantly, who might have helped fund it?
LAPD taking over the street where for fire at singer Rihanna's home Sunday afternoon. You can see the bullet holes on the gates and investigators placing markers on an Airstream trailer parked inside. Police say the came from an AR-15.
Ivana Ortiz's arrest timeline created another layer of confusion. On March 9th, when Ortiz was first taken into custody and processed, several large news outlets reported that her bail had been set at $10.2 million. But the situation quickly became unclear. When Ortiz appeared in court the next day, March 10th, the official press statement from the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office listed a very different number, $1.875 million. After the hearing, multiple media organizations began reporting that updated figure. A few days later, CNN referenced a similar amount, stating that the bail was roughly $1.8 million. That raises an obvious question. What exactly changed? There are only a couple of possibilities. Either the early reports were inaccurate and corrected after the official court documents were released, or the bail amount truly was lowered. If the original number was actually $10.2 million and then dropped to about $1.8 million in less than a day, that would be a dramatic reduction, one that naturally leads people to wonder what happened during those 24 hours. Because of these strange details, speculation has exploded across social media. Some users now believe Ivana Ortiz may have simply been a fall guy. One post on X claimed there's no way someone could fire at the home of a global celebrity like Rihanna, with children inside, and still end up with a bond like that unless something deeper was going on. Another commenter even described Ortiz as a Hollywood Tesla Manchurian candidate. A growing number of people online are suggesting Ortiz may have been chosen precisely because she already appeared mentally unstable. In that theory, if someone wanted to send a person to carry out an act like this, they would pick someone with a history of erratic behavior, someone whose actions could easily be dismissed as the work of a disturbed individual. Even more interesting, Ortiz had already been involved in a legal dispute with the very corporation connected to the target. And this is where Cat Williams enters the conversation again. Williams has long argued that events in the entertainment industry are rarely accidental. According to him, the people operating behind the curtain want the public to focus on the obvious explanation, so no one digs deeper. The public sees someone labeled crazy, shrugs, and moves on. Meanwhile, if there were anyone else involved, they remain safely out of sight, while the supposed lone wolf absorbs all the blame.
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend, that seems like a setup is. In business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
So, yes, Ivana Ortiz may have been the person who pulled the trigger, but the real question people keep asking is this: who directed her toward Rihanna's house in the first place, and how would she even know where the house was located? That question brings up another theory that has been circulating heavily online: the Epstein files. If you've spent any time on social media in the past few months, you've probably seen the names being discussed. In January 2026, millions of pages connected to Jeffrey Epstein were released to the public. As people began combing through the documents, the name Jay-Z suddenly started trending. The reason was something known as an FBI hotline report. In 2019, an anonymous caller reportedly contacted the Federal Bureau of Investigation and mentioned Jay-Z in the tip. And now look at the connections people online are pointing out. Rihanna is signed to Roc Nation. Roc Nation itself operates under Live Nation Entertainment, the same company Ivana Ortiz sued last year. Roc Nation's CEO, Desiree Perez, also negotiates Rihanna's touring deals and is listed as a defense witness in the government's antitrust case against Live Nation over its relationship with Ticketmaster. So some people online are asking a different question. If a corporation is facing a federal antitrust trial, would it want one of its biggest artists caught up in rumors and controversy? Or would it rather make sure no one starts looking too closely at those connections? Of course, these ideas remain speculation, but many people online argue the attacker may have been sent after Rihanna because she could be a liability. After all, Jay-Z flew Rihanna from her home country of Barbados to New York when she was just 16, and soon after she signed her first major deal with Roc Nation.
We don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he said it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So when Rihanna was 16 years old, she flew across country, had a meeting with Jay-Z, where he told her there's only two ways out of here, and that's through that door with the deal signed or through the window, and we're on the 29th floor. And she was 16 years old. I don't really see the humor in that.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm going to give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she want to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She'd like to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
Definitely a strong sense of ego here, which could be in fact rooted by other things, which is probably why Jaguar Wright said, when are we going to come to the fact that Rihanna was the T word? Traffic.
So once again, the big question remains, how did Ivana Ortiz, a speech pathologist from Florida, have the means to travel across the country in a Tesla while carrying that kind of weapon? And was this meant to be more of a warning? Because if the real goal was to reach Rihanna, why fire at the gate instead of trying to break through it? Why stop there? That leads to another question. Who would actually benefit if Rihanna were intimidated into staying quiet? Right now, these are questions no one has clear answers for. Of course, there's also the possibility that people are reading far too much into the situation. Maybe this really was just the actions of a troubled individual who snapped. But considering everything happening in the world lately, controversies, corruption allegations, voice, and the ongoing discussions surrounding figures like Jeffrey Epstein, some people find it difficult to accept official explanations without skepticism. Still, what do you think? Was Ivana Ortiz acting completely on her own? Or could there be something bigger happening behind the scenes? And if someone did send her, who do you think might have been responsible? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next video.